Good morning, and welcome to the Sports Doctors In. I'm Larry Abels. I'm joined by my niece, the wonderful Lauren Lassiter, and we're both joined by none other than the sports doctor himself, Earl Rush. Lauren, how you doing?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm fine. And sports doctor,
Larry, ready to discuss the NBA playoff situation as it stands right now, and also great to shoot the breeze along with you and Lauren.
hey, let's do this, okay? And I'm looking forward to both of you providing excellent commentary on these playoffs. So let,
All right.
So let's start with the Knicks and the Cavaliers. Okay, Lauren, did you are you surprised that we're 1-1 at this point, or and what are your thoughts on that series?
I'm not surprised. Those are both great teams. Close games. I would love to see the Knicks pull it out. I'm rooting for the Knicks this season. But
Well,
not.
I'm sorry, Celtics and Cavaliers.
Oh, Celtics and Cavaliers. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yes, that I am surprised on the Celtics and Cavaliers. I thought the Celtics were going to sweep. But the Cavaliers, they played great. They did a very good job the other night. Donovan Mitchell, when he's on, I feel like he rallies the team. He gets them all going. They all play very, very well. So I'm still thinking Boston's going to take it in the end, but it's nice to see the close games. I like seeing things like that. I like keeping it 1-1, 2-2, keep the series going longer. But I still think Boston's going to take it.
Do you think Donovan Mitchell's enough to that Cleveland can win one or two more games? I know you said you think Boston is going to win it, but you think Cleveland has any more victories in the series?
Yes, I'll give them one more.
One more?
Yeah.
Sports doctor, what do you think of this series with the Cav and the Celtics?
I haven't really been thinking much of the series. Just like Lauren, I thought that the Celtics would sweep the Cavaliers. Not because they're all that great, it's because I just don't think much of all of Cleveland. But I'm not surprised by the 1-1 situation because you see sometimes Boston they have their lapses, that's all. Even though he's crying like a female dog on news, people expect us to win 25 points every time. We don't expect you to win everything by 25 points, but we don't expect you to lose some of the games that you lose. That's what it is. So he's tripping. And him complaining about stuff like that is a sign that I'm wary of anyway. You know, if you're a professional, just handle what's coming up. He's acting like he can't handle what's coming up to him, crying, looking for excuses. Make a long story short, we got a lot to cover. All he needs to do is just play ball and quit whining. That's all.
So sports doctor, I know, for those who may have missed one of our previous shows, you mentioned earlier your opinion of how well Boston will fare in the Eastern Conference. Do you think they'll come out of the East?
I don't think Boston's coming out of the East.
Who's going to beat them?
Well, how many teams are left? Cleveland won't beat them, so I guess it has to be the winner of the other series. The Knicks
New York Pacers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not. We don't have to complicate things. The numbers are right there in front of us. There are only 3 teams that can. Let's go down the list.
So it's not going to be Cleveland.
It won't be Cleveland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lauren, do you think the Celtics can come out of the East?
I do. I don't see any of the other 3 teams left beating them.
You don't think the New York Knicks as an underdog could beat them?
No, unfortunately, they're not ready yet. Not yet. But I don't think so. I don't see the other 3 teams beating them. I just don't.
Okay, so let's pivot over to the next game, next series, the Knicks and the Pacers. And sports doctor, the Pacers came, after falling behind 2-0, they were victorious last night. Is this the start of something big for the Pacers? Are the Pacers going to be able to turn the series around and come out victorious?
I can't say whether they'll be able to turn the series around. I can say it will be 2-2. That's all I can tell you right now. I can't say what the Knicks. The Knicks are playing great. I'm not impressed with them in general, but they play tough ball, man. They play tough. So for me to say what's going to happen right now, I can't say.
I'm a little stunned by this, Sports Doctor, because I thought I heard you say maybe this wasn't for public consumption, but I thought you thought the Pacers were going to come out of the East.
Oh, I did say that. I never said they weren't.
So it seems like that would be impossible if they don't turn the series around, right?
I'm not understanding. It seems like you're trying to get me or something, but I'm trying to slow down. I haven't said anything wrong or anything strange. All I said
who's
was
going to ultimately win the series between the Knicks and the Pacers?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Lauren, what do you think of this series right here?
I wish that I could just hit repeat to everything the sports doctor said, because this series, I want the Knicks to come out. That would be my preference. I don't know who between the two teams is going to actually come out the series. And it's so hard because you want to pick a winner. But personally, I would prefer the Knicks, my underdogs, to come out on top. But I really don't know who's going to take this series, because if the Pacers play like they played last night, we don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think what Larry was trying to get me on a couple of minutes ago, he's a little slick investigator here. Because according to me, if the Celtics
the world wants to know what the sports doctor says is coming. We have millions of people around the world wanting to know who you think is going to win that series. I was really just trying to get you there.
Well, I answered too quickly. Indianapolis will win that series.
Ooh, he's going out on a limb.
Right.
Yeah, Indianapolis, because I have Indianapolis and Dallas coming out. I didn't have. That's what I had told you. So I didn't even have any other choice anyway. if I had said anything else stupid, it'd be talking up the side of my mouth. Yeah.
Well, you have a right to change your opinion. Sometimes facts on the ground.
No, you can't say Indianapolis is coming out of East, and then when you ask who wins between Indianapolis and the Knicks, and then you whiffle and waffle, that don't even make sense. As you noticed, I slowed down and I said, Larry's trying to catch me on something. That's the first thing I said, Lauren.
Just seeking clarification. That's all. I would never try to catch you at anything. This is not a gotcha moment.
Actually, he's trying to catch me. He's my boy. He's my man, but he's trying to catch me and clown me, basically. But I caught myself.
I've been knowing this guy for decades. He's been my friend. He should know better than this. He should know better than this. And he'll even tell you he's the one that will point things out when people look up a little bit. He's known for that. Lauren, do you think the Knicks have a shot at winning this? I mean, they've lost two of their starters. They've lost OG and they lost Mitchell. Two of their starters. Not to mention Randall that they lost earlier. Mm-hmm. Are the Knicks getting to the point that they may not have the manpower to compete with the Pacers anymore? Or how do you think they'll do going forward?
I think they can stick it out. If they can keep the games close, keep playing with the same intensity that their college three friends have been playing with, I think they can stick it out and beat the Pacers. Going forward, that's a different question. But the Pacers, I think they can take them.
Who do you think is going to come out of the East?
Boston.
Okay. Well,
sorry, doctor, but I'm sticking with Boston.
Okay. I think this is going to be good. And Earl, with all due credit, you predicted the Pacers regardless of injury. So, that just happens now. But do you think the Knicks will fall off fast, or do you think that as long as Brunson is playing, they have a shot at it, making it at least a competitive series?
It's going to be a competitive series.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of think as long as Brunson plays, things will be pretty interesting. And if any of our viewers want to comment, we'd love to hear your thoughts. So feel free to chime in at any time. Okay, let's move to the Western Conference now. Well, we'll start with the Dallas and OKC series. That series is tied 1-1. I, for one, always have thought that younger teams don't fare well against veteran teams in the playoffs. But this series is tied 1-1, and OKC has been pretty consistent all year. Sports Doctor, I'll start with you. I know you have Dallas coming out of the West. How long do you think this series will go? Do you think Dallas is already righted the ship, or do you think we're in for more ups and downs in this series with Oklahoma City and the Mavs?
Oh, this series is going 7.
Going 7.
Going 7.
Okay. You like Dallas to go into OKC and win Game 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think of the series, Lauren?
This is also a toss-up for me because I never really paid attention to OKC, but watching them play recently and going against Dallas, they're giving them a run for their money. I kind of thought Dallas was just going to come in and kind of take it because we've seen their stars. We know what they're capable of, but OKC's playing pretty good. So I still think Dallas is going to take it ultimately, but I agree with the doctor as well. I think this could go to a Game 7.
Now, Dallas is the underdog in this series. You just to make sure you notice. Okay, they're number 5 seed, number 1.
Yeah.
OKC's number 1 in the West.
Yeah, they're ranked. Yes. Yeah. I apologize for the unintelligent questioning.
No. Again, it's clarity is important for our audience to know, what we're talking about.
Yes.
So,
if anybody, the three of us, we shouldn't be on this show if we don't know that Dallas is the underdog. Oklahoma's the number 1 all year. So what else should Dallas be but the underdog? That's why I apologize for the dumb question.
But here's the thing: any of us could have brief intervals of uncertainty, and as long as we get back on the right track, which we are on the right track.
This show would be a sports doctor interview.
And all of us belong on this show, okay?
That was a dumb question. All right, let's move on.
Again, this is not a gotcha moment, man. We're just, just having fun here, just grooving. Dallas, when Dallas won last night, it's the first time they beat OKC in Oklahoma City this year. Wow. And maybe in a couple of years. So I had some doubts about them going in there winning, but really all they had to do was win what they needed to win. They'll probably have to win 2 games now to win the title, but they've proven that they could go in and win. So who knows? This series has me. I don't know who's going to take it. First I was all in on Dallas. Now I'm going to think. I'm going to say the winner of Game 3 is going to win it. That's what I'm going to say. So I'm still kind of hanging out there on them. Whoever wins the next game will take the series. Okay. And the final series we have is Minnesota and Denver. Okay. Minnesota went into Denver and won the first 2 games on Denver's court. Denver is a number 2 seed, just for reference, and Minnesota is a number 3 seed. They went in on to Denver, beat Denver twice in Denver. Then Denver came to Minnesota and beat Minnesota last night, blew them out. Lauren, what do you think of this series?
I love this series so much. I wasn't expecting Denver to lose the first 2 games. I definitely didn't see that happening. But now that I've seen that Denver can come back and blow out a team if they want to, it's just a matter of time. I'm going with Minnesota to take the series, but I think this is going to a Game 7 as well.
Earl, who do you like in this series? Minnesota or Denver?
I like Minnesota. I don't think it's going 7. I think Minnesota knows that they better win the next game or they're going to be in trouble. So I think they're going to, since they know that they need that game, I think they're going to take that next game and it'll go 3-1 and then it'll be over.
Oh, okay. Minnesota's going to go ahead and
Denver's not coming back and winning 3 straight against them. So once it's down that 3-1, it's basically a wrap.
Yeah.
Even if Denver comes back and ties it up and they go to Game 7, Minnesota will win Game 7.
Okay. I like Minnesota in this series too, but Denver showed the heart of a champion last night, and they came back. And
I don't know what happened last night.
Well, they're a good team, and sometimes, that game just might be a runoff, a one-off, good teams could come out with good games sometimes. They came out, their veteran team, Hearts of a Champion, and they came
30
back.
points, like 30 points.
Well, I mean, Cleveland blew out Boston. I mean, that happens sometimes.
Yeah. Denver has the MVP, so.
Well, they'll need to run it back. It only counts as one game, so they'll need to run it back. Couple of things happened this week. Previous game when Minnesota and Denver played, Jamal Murray threw a towel on the court. He threw a heating pad on the court, and he did the money gesture that got Rudy Gobert fined $100,000. Mm-hmm. The referee said they didn't see who threw the towel and the heating pad on the court, so they didn't take any action. But after the game, the league saw it, through their video, and they fined Jamal $100,000. Earl, was that penalty sufficient? Should more have been done?
Of course, it's a problem. He should have been suspended.
He should have been suspended for a game? One game? Two games?
For throwing that stuff out on the court, I would say throwing him out the rest of the series, I think that's a bit much. I think that's what I would have done. He would have been done for the year.
Ooh,
if I was commissioner. Are you kidding me? You throwing stuff out on you? Man, you talking about there's $1 billion out on that court. Somebody work for there's $1 billion worth of salaries out on that court, man. Anybody can fall and step on that pay. And to do it twice. It's no reasonable explanation for him not to be suspended at least one game for throwing it out once. But he threw it out. He threw things up there twice. That's why I say I was talking about he should not be able to play the rest of the damn season. They don't want to do it. Okay. They probably think it's a no-win situation. Either way, it looks bad for the NBA for not suspending this guy. Of course, if he's out, of course, Denver does not have a chance to win. They want it to be a good series, like Lawrence said. It's becoming a competitive series. We're talking about a whole lot of money out there, So it doesn't look good either way. This guy should be suspended, period. At least one game. At least one game. They can't even give you a reason for why they haven't done it yet. They're talking about, well, let's look at his history. He hasn't done anything wrong at all. So what? But he did do something wrong. He put a lot of people in jeopardy.
Okay.
So,
Lauren, what do you think?
Suspended. I completely agree. Not only did you do it once, you did it twice. And okay, you have a good track record. You don't get in trouble. Okay, suspend him one game. But he risked not only the other team, but he risked his own teammates getting injured. It was stupid. It was immature. And he should have been suspended. And it does make the NBA look bad because it's like, okay, they're doing really good. We want this to be an exciting series. Let's just leave him in. He can pay a fine. No, anybody on that court can afford to pay that fine. He needs to get a real punishment so he won't do it again. Because if he throws something else out and it does result in a worse accident, then what are they going to say? Oh, well, this time, no, he should have been suspended. At least one game.
I tend to agree. I heard the referee say they didn't see who threw the towel out there during the game. Okay. But I thought they should have at least called a technical on the bench because they knew it came from their bench. They didn't even do that. And I think the league is trying to do a balancing act. We don't want to send out one of our premier players in this situation, but he lost his cool. He needed to have a seat. He should have at least missed the next game.
Yep.
So I'm in agreement with you guys. Now, the last thing I'm going to ask you guys about, I don't know if you heard about this, but Rick Carlisle, after game 2, sent a tape to the NBA showing 78 calls that were missed, either fouls that were called against the Pacers that he didn't think were fouls, or fouls that weren't called that he thought should have been called. And he's blaming it on a small market. He said small market teams deserve the same calls as big cities, i.e. New York. Now, to put it in a context, I didn't like the call at the end of game one where they called that block, and that sort of took Indiana's last chance away. But when you're watching the game, and Lauren, I'm gonna start with you. Do you think Indiana has been getting the short end of the officiating, or do you think the coach is really trying to politic and get the referees for game three, which was last night?
I think it's more of that. I think he's like, okay, y'all have missed some calls here, and let's be aware, let's be alert, let's give my team a fighting chance to win as well. I don't really know how that's going to go, because I know they really protect the refs in the NBA and they don't want them to be questioned before or after the fact. But I think he's trying to give his team a fighting chance. The Pacers have the talent, but I guess he's just like, if all the calls are going towards this other team, is it even a fair chance for my team to make it? So I think he's just trying to give his team a fair chance.
Do you think calls were going against his team?
That's hard for me to answer because I'm rooting for the Knicks. So I get excited when the Knicks get things going their way. So I can't honestly say I've been paying attention for his benefit. So I'm not sure.
Okay, Earl, I'm trying to get to the same question with you. Now, I think a lot of us didn't like that blocking call at the end of game one, and especially the timing of it.
Yeah.
But do you think, other than that, do you think the Knicks have been getting favorable whistles?
I don't know, because I'm just upset right now. I've been watching.
What are you upset about?
I've been watching the NBA for a while, and I pretty much know some of the people who've been in there for a while. And I'm just upset with myself that after all these years Rick Carlisle has been in the league, that I didn't realize, excuse my language, Lord, that he was just a little bitch. None of those calls have been, they had a couple of bad calls. But the one thing I said last night, I really, really, really don't care who wins between Indiana and New York, but the game has been called pretty fairly as far as I'm concerned. I think he's just frustrated that his team is playing like little girls, and he's just acting like a little girl in general. So, no, to answer your question, I think the officiating has not been that bad.
Yeah, I don't really care who wins either, and I think I would have noticed if it was going one way, more than the other. I think he's politicking for the refs, trying to get some calls, but he sent something to the league, and I think during the basketball games there are going to be some calls missed. I mean, if you really dissect everything, you could probably blow the whistle every time down court. I look for consistency, and I don't think it's really been that bad. Earl, did you have something else you wanted to say?
No, it hasn't been that bad. He's just a female dog, Larry. That's all it boils down to. He's acting like a female dog. That's what he is. He's showing what he is. Come on, man. The fact that the only calls we say, except for that one call at the end of the game, the fact that that's what we're basing things on shows that there's only been one bad call the whole damn series. So what is the problem? Everybody gonna make a bad mistake. He's just great. His team is just not tough enough to deal with what's going on. That's all. That's why
the big problem with them is they don't play defense, and they haven't had an answer for Brunson at all. They try to, and then when they jump on him, other guys have hit shots for the Knicks, and they haven't hit shots. So I think that's it. But that's all I had today. Once again, we had a great show. Lauren, always love having you on here. This is like a highlight of my week every time you're on here.
Oh, thank you so much. Love being here with you guys.
Yeah.
And Sports Doctor, you know how you and I roll. I'm glad you let me come on your show, the Sports Doctors, and it's, So look, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Feel free to comment at any time. We'll be back on next Saturday at 11 o'clock, and things will have tightened up, and we'll give our expert opinions once again. And also on Wednesday, Real Fellas Talk Sports comes on the Real Fellas channel. Who's the host this week? Earl, are you the host?
I will be the host this week, and I will be taking all comments and greeting all our participants of the show. So feel free, spread the word that I will be the host this week. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
And I can tell you, an Earl host is always fun. Okay, thanks for tuning in around the world. For Earl the Go-Go Sports Doctor and Laura Lassiter, this is Larry Abels signing off.
All right.